Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and what we're going to talk about today is how hard it's becoming for homeowners to sell. That's right, you guys. Depending on the state, homeowners right now are struggling to sell their homes. And I want to ask you guys a question before I really get started on this video. Why do you think that is? Now, if you've been following me, you probably should know exactly why homeowners are struggling right now, struggling to sell their houses. But I'm curious, guys. I want to know what you think. I'll give you some of the answers right now. Homeowners are struggling to sell their houses right now because, number one, inventory is absolutely skyrocketing. Overall, there are still some metro areas that are tight and that are still going up somewhat in prices. Now, on top of that, you guys, unaffordability right now is even worse than it's ever been. I mean, I really doubt that new homeowners right now, especially if they're millennials or younger, I really don't think they really understand just how unaffordable houses are right now and just how big an impact a foreclosure or a late payment has on their financial well-being. I just, honestly, I don't think that most people get that. And I think that most people, in order for them to learn, are going to have to learn like I did when I was young. The only way I was able to learn that house prices go down was paying. I had to lose everything. I had a foreclosure, a bankruptcy, a repo, a tax lien. Does that mean that's going to happen to you if you recently bought? No, it doesn't mean that. But I will say, if you are out there buying a house right now, you got to do it with fundamentals. You got to do it looking at 10 years from now. If you're just looking at granite and paint and fake marble tile, there's a high probability that you will get caught up in this mess. And I don't want that for you. Learn from my mistakes. There's nothing wrong with being cautious. We have the statistics now. If you are someone on the sideline trying to buy right now, there has never been a time in history where it has been this much cheaper. And it's not even cheap, but I'm saying in comparison, it's never been this much cheaper to rent than it is to own. So I will say, if you are renting, if you're on the sidelines, living with family, whatever it is, make sure you do the best you can to cut out wasteful spending habits. We all suffer from it. I'm not picking on you. I suffer from it. Everyone suffers from it. But what I'm saying is now is not the time. Regardless, guys, let's get started. Here's the thing, you guys. America is starting to wake up, but not necessarily for the reasons that you think. And what are they waking up to? They're waking up to the fact that these houses really are overpriced and trash. Not all of them, but most of them are. So people are starting to wake up, but not because of like data and figuring this out. Most people are waking up because they're broke. And when they're broke, they got no other choice but to look at their own financial situation. And you guys, again, we're winning right now because so many other people are losing. So in my opinion, a little bit of compassion is necessary for recent homeowners, especially if they were young and misled by professionals in the industry. I think a little sympathy is needed. It is an emotional process. And again, I hope you're learning here not to be emotional. But we're going to take a look at the article now, and we're going to see multiple reasons why homeowners are struggling to sell. And if you guys can, if you like the video, if you want to help my channel out, if you want to help me grow, I would appreciate it. Just like the video. If you can, share it as well. But definitely comment. I appreciate you guys. Now, this is a Newsweek article titled "Florida Homeowners Struggle to Sell Their Home." So it's going to emphasize what's going on in Florida, but I want you guys to understand that this will spread, and it already is spreading. I know that because Florida was once thriving. Florida was once the state that was like bucking the trends. In 2022, when all the other states, most of the other states were declining, Florida wasn't. Florida was strong, but that all has changed. Now, this was an article published June 13th of 2024, so it is a recent article. I'm going to dig in here, guys. This will be linked in my description. Come back here, look at the data, look at it for yourself. But this states homeowners in some Florida cities are finding it harder to sell their home, as data shows that an increased number of listings are sitting on the market for more than 30 days. I'm going to give you guys the leading indicators right now on why I believe that 2024 is going to be worse than 2022 as far as price decline. The number one leading indicator they just mentioned, days on market. When days on market exceeds 30 days, generally it's going to be followed by prices dropping. But not only days on market, we now have more inventory than we've had since almost lockdowns. Not quite there. My point is inventory is skyrocketing. But another leading indicator, and I'll show you guys this in a minute, are price cuts. Price cuts right now are historical on average across the nation. But let me show you just how bad Florida is from a days on market standpoint. All right, y'all. So here's days on market for Florida, and this is nasty. I mean, you guys can kind of see it right here. I mean, it didn't really start getting, kind of going up, exploding until about July of 2022, and then it exploded. You guys can kind of see that. And then the market rebounded in 2023 after February. It's amazing how that can be nailed exactly. And remember what happened March of 2023, Bank Term Funding Program. It stopped the contagion of bank runs and stopped deflation or prices from going down or the bubble from bursting. It kicked the can down the road. It was a very, very bad thing. But look at this, guys. Days on market is absolutely exploding. So according to Redfin, on average, days on market for Florida is now 55 days. Florida is going to go through some pain probably for 5, even possibly 10 years. This goes on. The housing market in the Sunshine State experienced a boom during the COVID years when people from other parts of the country flocked to its cities. And by the way, that absolutely doomed the natives, especially Miami, West Palm Beach. Think of the natives that potentially been living there their whole lives, saved up their whole life to buy a house. And now all of these people are migrating to their metros, driving prices up double compared to what they were for 4 years ago. Is that going to make you guys feel good as a local? I mean, think about it. Is it? It's probably not. You're probably going to get frustrated. You're going to probably think it's not fair. You want things to change. Am I wrong? Let me know in the comment section. But now more and more homes are sitting as mortgage rates and high prices limit buyers. I highlighted high prices because no one wants to talk about that. People are all about the interest rate. The reason why we're in this mess is the high interest rates. Wrong. The reason why we're in this mess is low interest rates, not high interest rates. It's low interest rates. Remember, guys, the economy does well when interest rates are high. The fact that multiple parts of the economy right now are falling apart with just 5% interest rates means the economy is not healthy, and neither is the housing market. But what I really want you guys to pay attention to is the price, okay? The price, I say this all the time, I'm not saying payment's not important. Payments is important. But what I am saying is in my opinion, in most circumstances, price is way more important by a lot. Meanwhile, soaring insurance fees are also dissuading potential buyers from purchasing properties as they add more costs to owning a home. Now, I got to tell you guys a cautionary tale of what happened to me 2 days ago. I actually put an offer in on a home. It was a verbal offer. I was able to do it via text. It's a lot easier to do that. Basically, I'm being forced out of this rental house because there's mold. It's all over this rental house that we found out. So that's really kind of a bummer for me because I have to forced to move during June, not the time that I want to move. And so anyways, I found a house. I got them to accept an offer at 21%. And normally, and here's the thing, guys, my goal is to buy a house with 30 to 35% in equity that I love, right? So I want a house that I love with 30, 35% of equity. I was probably going to settle on this other house at 21% equity. But the problem, because I loved it. I love the area. I love the house. My wife, my children, I felt like a failure. I know this is a little emotional, but it was a decent deal. Didn't feel good about it though, because again, my goal was 30, 35 and I didn't want to settle. But right before I issued the contract, I was like, wait a minute, let me run the insurance quotes on this property. It's important to do that in advance because normally you run insurance quotes on property after you've paid money for inspections, appraisals, option fee, earnest money. So you'll want to do it in advance. And when I did it in advance, you guys, and this was in the mid 300,000s, the insurance premium per year, $5,800 for a mid $300,000 house. $5,800. The reason why the roof is 24 years old and basically needs to be replaced. The reason I'm saying that is, again, pro tip, do that due diligence up front. But also one of the primary reasons why Florida has this explosion of inventory is massive, not only insurance costs from being in a natural disaster area with the hurricanes, right? But also property tax is exploding for everyone, including myself. So these things are real. And the really interesting thing is, guys, is those adjustable fees like property taxes and homeowners insurance, that's not even counted in the data. And that's what's rocking people right now. I mean, seriously, I mean, even if you're a past homeowner with a 3% interest rate and $200,000 in equity, those property taxes are hurting you. Now, it's not in every Florida city. Some Florida cities are seeing the number of homes spending additional days on the market grow more than any area in the nation apart from Dallas. Now, I've talked to a lot of people in Dallas, even realtors in Dallas. They're like, there's homes everywhere, there's inventory exploding, but none of them will say that prices are going to go down. And I'm trying to tell them, you guys, when that migration slows down, which it is slowing down, we see it because inventory is exploding, which means demand is not absorbing what's on the market, which means, again, migration is not enough. You guys, Dallas, Texas isn't worth beating. The amount of hyper supply, I've been to Dallas multiple times. The amount of hyper supply they have for new homes is mind blowing. If you're in the area, literally just go right on the outskirts of downtown Dallas and just drive in a circle, and you guys will see probably 200-300 brand new communities. Brand new, totally new. Dallas is going to be hurting. You guys will see. And again, we see it on the days on market. Dallas is leading the nation. Anyways, let's continue. According to real estate platform Redfin, again, they're using Redfin, with oversupply and escalating weather-related disruptions to blame for the slowdown, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and Jacksonville saw listings that stay on the market for at least a month rise compared to last year. So those are some of the more distressed areas in Florida. But again, you guys, make no mistake, this is happening around the nation. It's just Texas and Florida are leading the way. Inventory is growing fast, see, in Texas and Florida. And this is why, largely because those states are building far more homes than anywhere else in the country, contributing to rising supply. And because some homeowners are nervous about the increasing prevalence of natural disaster. You guys know we led this on this channel. If you were with me, we drove around the nation, you guys. I'm taking you to these places. I've been saying new homes are leading the trends of decline. It's all on new. You'll keep watching new homes. That's why, again, in Texas, we have three, according to Redfin, we have three major metro areas on the year-over-year decline list. There's 4 total in the nation. 3 of them are in Texas. I'm telling you guys, again, just like this article pointed out, and again, by my boots on the ground videos, you guys get this. The market's being flooded with new homes. That's a fact. There's no doubt there, okay? Maybe not in your metro, maybe not on where you want to live, but in my metro it is, and where I want to live, it certainly is. And that's what I'm reporting to you guys on. So this is going to go into more days on market information. The development reflected what is happening across the country, see? With close to 62% of homes on the market for at least 60 days, a near 12% increase from 2 years ago, according to Redfin. Meanwhile, about 40% of listings in May had been on the market for at least 2 months. Dang, up more than 12% from a year ago. Now, again, they're going into mortgage rates, which are nearly double what they were just 4 years ago, and record high prices mean buyers are being extra selective in what types of properties they choose to invest in. Now, you guys couldn't see that because my picture, unfortunately, was over that, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, that's not why. Okay, it's not, people aren't being more picky. Okay, the people that were picky were always picky, and they're going to stay picky. The reason why home buying demand is being crushed like this is affordability. I mean, they literally said that in the beginning. So, I mean, extra selective. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, people can't afford a house. I mean, I want a house that's $500,000. I can't afford it. I want plenty of houses. I just can't afford it. People, the thing is, most people don't care. You know, you guys care, but most people outside of this channel, outside of the YouTube community, they just simply do not care. Maybe it's because they have other things in their life that are more important to them, or maybe they just don't understand what an overvalued price can do to them. It ruined my life for 9 years. It doesn't have to happen to you guys. Just be smart. That's all I'm saying. Be smart. Now, look at what they have to say at the end of this article here. Redfin agents report that move-in ready homes in desirable neighborhoods are still selling quickly, but listings that don't fit the bill are starting to pile up in some parts of the country. Pro tip, just because a house isn't turnkey, okay, doesn't mean it's not a good deal. That is why you, in my opinion, I can't be your financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor, okay? I'm not even your agent. But that's why subdivision analysis is so important, guys. You have to get into that subdivision, see what people are paying for in that neighborhood. With that information, you can really determine what's a good deal, what's not a good deal. And if you can buy a house that is $100,000 under market value and all it needs is new carpet, are you really going to pass that up? Hypothetically, are you really going to pass up $100,000 for $5,000 worth of carpet? Probably not. So my point is, don't get suckered. Be smart here. Most people are being suckered into what? New paint, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, and that fake new marble that everyone's putting in their flips. Mortgage rates are expected to remain elevated as the Federal Reserve choose to keep borrowing costs higher for longer. Like they said in Congress, that's no surprise here, during their meeting this week. On Wednesday, the Fed shifted its outlook regarding when it might begin to reduce interest rates, which are at a 2-decade high, a development that experts said could put upward pressure on mortgage rates again. Now, just to put in perspective how bad the Florida housing market is right now, let me show you guys the active inventory as according to Fred Economic Data. Alrighty, so here's Fred Economic Data, housing inventory. This is active listing count in Florida. You see we're at 137,000 active units. Before lockdowns, we were at 129,000, meaning that Florida has more inventories than lockdowns. In fact, they have more inventory than they're going back to June of 2019. In fact, July of 2019, they have more inventory than summer home buying season in 2019. You guys, seriously, think about this, okay? What do you think that's going to do to the prices? Well, one thing we know that's going to do to the prices is put downward pressure, okay? It's going to put downward pressure. But remember, all of the people that were bullish on the housing market being resilient, being so strong, remember their argument. They were like, prices are high and they're going to stay high because of the law of supply and demand. They're like, oh, it's so simple to understand this. However, now that dynamic is shifting because we're not stuck in time, things change, and that pendulum is starting to swing. Do you guys notice that they're no longer talking about the laws of supply and demand? Do you guys notice that? The reason they're no longer talking about that is because it no longer helps them push their narrative, and it no longer helps them to get you to spend your money. I guess you guys, in conclusion, here's where I want to end. Don't think things will last forever, all right? I really believe a lot of people, maybe not all people, but I believe a lot of people just don't know what they're doing. People just don't realize how bad a foreclosure really is, or how bad, being married to your housing payment really is. People want to move. People want to be free to be locked into a house that's upside down in value. Yeah, that's going to ruin you financially, but think about the mental impact, the depression, the anxiety, the stress of losing everything. And if you have a family, those are just highlighted. And so again, in conclusion, what I want to say to you is, what happened to me doesn't have to happen to you. I think what we really need to be focusing on is just using the data. Just understand what I'm saying. Understand the math. It's very simple math, but in order to do that, you have to care. And in order to do that, you have to look past the granite countertops. You have to be able to look past the stainless steel appliances. You have to have the ability to understand first grade math. That's it. But most people won't stop themselves. They're so emotional. They won't stop themselves short to do first grade math. So I want you guys to be confident in what's happening. Things are changing. If you're on the sideline, congratulations. I believe you're going to be a winner. Now, I don't know your metro area, but I still think you're going to be a winner. I really hope if you've been on the sideline, you've been keeping your purchasing power intact. I know it's been hard. It's been very unaffordable. But again, how do you keep your purchasing power intact? Credit, income, asset. Those are the three main things that you need in order to increase your purchasing power. So don't become a struggling seller. All right, guys, be smart if you're going to purchase. I mean, first of all, and I go on record all the time, I don't think anyone should be purchasing. Okay, overall, I don't think anyone. But I'm not so naive to not understand that every once in a while you will find a great deal. I know that. I'm in Houston. I do find great deals every once in a while. It's just rare, and I wouldn't hold your breath. But either way, be sharp, be patient, develop good, long-lasting relationships in your life, and love your family. And other than that, if you're out there investing in real estate, you guys know I wish you luck, and I hope you win.